Hello, beautiful YouTube people. Good morning. Welcome again to another Luk'A'Here, y'all podcast. The space where we break the silence, speak the truth to pain, and honor our healing. This journey that we're on, this healing journey, we can have honest conversations at any time about it with, I'm not going to say with anyone, but you choose your people. But this is the channel, this is the space where we honestly talk about that. I will be reading from my script today, and so if it seems like I keep looking down, I am, because I couldn't memorize it all. But thank you for joining me. So today's episode, like I said, is deeply personal and it's powerfully universal. Everybody is going through it. And it's called Thriving Beyond Your Struggles. Thriving Beyond Your Struggles. But I want to begin with this quote, okay? The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. The struggle you are in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to let that sink in for a minute, because thriving don't mean you never fall. It just means you rise differently. That's what it means. Thriving doesn't mean you fall. It means you are rising differently. So today we're going to explore what it truly means to live beyond what tried to break you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just my intro, my my break music. When I get my podcast together, when I get to actually, learning how to work all this stuff, yeah, my podcast is gonna be sexy. I'm gonna have music and stuff. I'm gonna have an intro and an outro and stuff. But anyway, let's get into this before before I get into that. Now, struggles, they come dressed in many forms, like mental health battles, grief, caregiver burnout, abandonment, trauma, caregiving stress. Sometimes all of that be wrapped into one. Well, for me, it was, because I'm speaking on this from my point of view, because I was the one that was going through this, so that's why this is so personal to me and I can talk about it, so just hang in there and we're going to get through this. So, but what makes it harder is how society teaches us to smile through the pain, to work harder, like to perform, especially those of us who care for others. We learn to be strong until we disappear under the weight of it. Now, so just let me ask you this. What does struggle look like in your life right now? What does it look like? Take a breath, because we're going to name it today. Not to stay in it, but to recognize our starting point for healing. And we're not going to stay in it. We're going to recognize it. We ain't going to stay in it. We just going to, recognize it and just take off from there. Now, see, my journey toward thriving was, it probably be different than your journey, So let me take you to a time where I was surviving instead of living. For real. I was surviving. I wasn't even, like I said, I was just surviving. That was at a time when I had my surgery and I had just got diagnosed with, well, I'm not going to say not diagnosed, but when I had my back surgery, they gave me like 6 to 8 weeks to heal. Then when I did heal, when I thought I was healed, I went to see the doctor and he told me that I wasn't even off the porch yet. Let me tell it the way I was feeling. I was off the porch and down the street and around the corner. But he informed me that I won't be able to turn that corner until about 2 years later. This is typically for a patient after the surgery that I had. So me, I'm looking at him like, wait a minute. I done already been out of work 3 months because of this surgery. Now you telling me I can't work? Wait a minute. Wait. That don't make sense. So if I can't do nursing, and nursing been my livelihood since I was 16 and a half, what do I do now? I mean, that was the question that I asked. That's the question that I asked the doctor. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Well, Miss Ryan, all you can do is just rest and let your body heal. What? I already feel like I'm healed. I'm ready to go back to work. It's people out there that need me. I got to get out of this house, man. Miss Wright, it's not time. Oh, man. Or if I don't tell y'all you could have bought me for a quarter and I'd have gladly gave you change back. I was just, What got me, see, I thought that it was just the mere fact that I couldn't work anymore that had me so down. But it was actually the shift. It was the shift from going to from being a lead training CNA to y'all telling me I can't do nothing. Okay, I understand stooping, lifting, bending, pulling. I understand that. On my back. But you telling me I can't do nothing? Oh, yeah. I was ugly. I was going through the motions. Yeah, I get up. Probably cook. Probably do this. Probably do that. I don't know. And that was happening for a while. Now there was a moment, though. You can call it grace. You can call it therapy. You can call it sisterhood. You can call it divine intervention, where I realized survival was no longer enough. You know what I mean? I ain't even want to. I ain't even want to make it through the day. I ain't even want to feel the day. And so began the messy, sacred journey of thriving. But my thriving did not happen then. Okay? I was still stuck in that. I just want to make it through the day. I was stuck in that. I just want to feel the day. I was stuck in that. Ain't no use to getting up. I ain't no use to nobody. You see? And I was in that funky foul mood for when I realized it years. For real, about 2 years. And one day a series of events happened and I had to snap out of it because I realized, that something else was wrong with me. Something else was happening with me. It wasn't until my husband told me that he wanted his best friend back to where I actually start to realize, like, yeah, something wrong. See, I'm just functioning, and I know I'm just functioning, so that's the way I was doing it, because if I'm not clocking in, I ain't no good to nobody. So why be, so why get up? But then during that process, I forgot. I forgot that I was a wife. I forgot that I was a mother. I forgot that I was a grandmother. I forgot that I was a sister, a niece, a friend, a granddaughter. I just forgot about all of that. I forgot about all of that because I was so focused on the not being able to work. Forgot about everything else. Everything else that I was. Every other title that I had besides caregiver. I just straight forgot about that. I forgot that I was all that. And that was an ugly dark time. So, but I'm telling you though, but the whole while I was going through this struggle, this is what was on my mind. Man, my back too broken. I ain't gonna never be whole no more. Everybody else is doing better than me, man. I ain't gonna never catch up. It's gonna take me a long time to get back where I was, man. I ain't gonna never get. I mean, this is the negativity that was on my mind. This is the negativity that comes with the depression. This is the negativity that comes with the anxiety. That's wild. I didn't know none of that, but this is just. I mean, it didn't got so to the point where this was my regular thinking. This was my regular thinking, and that within itself was a red flag to me, because I don't think like that. That's never been my frame of mind. Then I had to think back, well, that never was my frame of mind because I was working and doing what I wanted to do. But when I had to actually sit down and sit still with myself, that's when I came to the realization that, some stuff going on, man. For real. So, but I want to pause though. I just want you to pause for a minute, wherever you are, and say this out loud if this is for you. I release the lie that I must suffer in silence. I must release the lie that I got to suffer through this in silence. Yeah, release that lie. It's too many resources out here. It's too many people out here that you can utilize to help you through, this mental episode that you're going through. Because, like I said, I had to reach out myself. I had to call somebody. I'm talking about somebody with an unbiased opinion. Somebody that wasn't going to just tell me anything so it'll be all right. No. I didn't reach out like that. I reached out the right way. Now, during this therapy, they shared some tools with me that I want to share with y'all, to actually combat those feelings. That mindfulness and that breath work. Sometimes when you feel yourself about to go out, you got to and come back to yourself. Trust me, that's a real thing. Because I didn't did it. I do it. I still do it, because it's a therapy exercise for me that I've had, developed over these past 2 years. And, it's really, really helped me. It's really helped me not to react. And it's really helped me to think before I speak. Because sometimes, my illness dictate that sometimes I don't know what be coming out my mouth. That's not funny, but I'm serious. I mean, anybody that knows me would tell you anything come out my mouth, but I ain't gonna put no anything in it. Anyway, now you can also do journaling, because that's what I did. That's what I was doing at first. I was writing. Every time you look around, I was writing. I'm jotting down this, jotting down that, writing my feelings here, writing my feelings there. Just because I had to actually get it off my mind. I have to get it off my mind and put it on paper. So once I get it off my mind and put it on paper, then I'm not going to say the problem is solved, but that's a load off. That's the way I was feeling. That's the way that I was coping with it, And then boundaries. See, that's my thing right there. Boundaries. I ain't got none, and everybody know. No boundaries. Just none. But my thing is saying no, even when I'm scared of being misunderstood. I'm using that word no. Sean, can you do this? Sean, can you do that? No. Now, usually I'm all on board to help anybody do anything. But then, when I do that, it's not like I look for something to come from it. It's just the joy of being a help to anybody for me. But then sometimes there's ramifications that come with that, and I say all the outside stuff, but I'm going to let people have what they say. You know what I mean? So you do something out the kindness of your heart, but to other people it seems like you did it for a reason. Not just out the kindness of your heart, but for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some kind of ulterior motive, some underlying, just to come help you, girl. Anyway, let people talk. But other than that, my other uh, coping mechanism is my therapy or my soul circle. You know what I'm saying? Where you healing in safe spaces. I say that to say this, okay? A soul circle, my soul circle, is my sister-in-law Vicky, and I'm gonna stop it right there. And the reason why she's in my circle, I have my sister-in-law Vicky, I have a best friend Tawana, I have a daughter Jamaica, you know, so that's my circle. Now the reason that the reason why I call it my soul circle is because these are the people that actually uh, they gather under the, let me see, how can I say this? It's our spiritual. Let me say it like that. It's our spiritual. One of those three people would tell me if I come to them with a problem or something that's going on in my mind. One of those three people would tell me either pick up my Bible and read a certain scripture, or pick up my Bible and read a chapter a day, or just pray. You know, those are the type of people that you need around you. Those are the type of people that you need to have surrounding you when you're going through your mental crisis. You know, it could be, you know, you stepping into a deep depression. Or it could be your anxiety is on you so bad to where you can't even hardly function now. Just have people in place where you can call, people that can help you, you know, because you was never meant to go through none of this alone. Never. God put us all on this earth to help each other. You was never meant to go through anything alone. That's the reason why you were born into a family. And hear me now, these little tools that I have, the mindfulness and the breath work, the journaling, the boundaries, the therapy and the soul circle, I mean, they not no magic cures or nothing. They're keys. Keys, okay? But you still got to open the door. But you don't have to do it alone. Keys to open the door. Those 4 things that I actually do to combat those feelings of loneliness and worthlessness, those 4 things that I do, they always bring me back to the forefront of who I am and what I'm going through and what's happening. I don't sink into it to the point where I'm just in it and I'm not calling nobody trying to get out of it. That'll never be the case for me. So, you know, and, you know, with that being said, you know, just have a couple of people that you can call that's on the real that want to see you succeed and do good. Those are the people you need on your team. Now, thriving in real life. Thriving ain't glossy. I mean, it's showing up after a crying spell and still choosing to be kind. For real. Thriving, because that's me. I can break down sometimes. But the way I'm feeling, I don't portray on other people. I mean, you can probably see it on my face, what I'm feeling. But yeah, I don't just, you know, project them feelings on other people. So, in, like, if you got somebody that you can actually be honest, be open and honest with, I'm talking about tell the 100% truth, no matter how ugly it is, that's the person that you have to have on your team. That's the person you need on your team because they have that listening ear. You know what I mean? And sometimes thriving means You can do something like fold laundry to some jazz music, or um, canceling everything, just not doing nothing, and going in your closet to cry and pray. You can do. There are, it's things to do to combat it, because these are the things that I do to combat it. And see, and I'm actually allowed to change what my thriving looks like today. Sure is. Yeah, because I think I did it, because this is how I'm thriving. I started this little podcast because I can't work. I can't go into a facility and teach. So in the age of technology, I can do it from here. That's if people are willing to listen. But whether they're willing to listen or not, honey, I'm going to do this podcast because I have to get these things out. Because if I hold these things in, or talk to my circle about it or whatever, that's what it's just doing, is talk. But I want to be productive in my talking. I want to be productive in what I'm doing. And along the way, I want to teach somebody something when it comes to caregiving and your own mental health. It's just to bring awareness. And as long as I got this laptop and this microphone and these earphones, honey, I'm gonna be on here. So this is therapy for me. Okay, now just take a little small deep breath with me, because you done made it this far. So we're gonna close with a few affirmations. So those affirmations are what I actually say every day, and what I use at times when I feel like I'm about to, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? When I feel like I feel the depression on me, or I feel the anxiety on me. Yeah, so these affirmations are: number one is, I am worthy, even in the middle of my mess. I'm worthy in the middle of my mess. My struggle does not get the final say. God got the final say. I'm not what happened to me. I'm what I choose to become. Sean, you just not depressed, baby. You gonna be happy. You gonna be all right. That's what I say, and that's what I believe. Because thriving is my birthright. It's not a reward for perfection. We all have to thrive in a safe and comfortable space, and live, and just be all right with ourselves and others. To be all right with ourselves and others. So, this was a lot. It was quick, but it just felt like it was a lot to me today. But thank you guys for sharing this 25, 30 minutes with me. If something spoke to you in here, share this episode with a friend. Or better yet, start a conversation about it. Yeah. So, the next time we get together, our next talk is going to be the topic is going to be anxiety. Helping other people through their anxiety while trying to manage your own. Okay? Because that's what happened to me this week. Helping somebody else through their anxiety while I'm trying to manage my own. So, we can still be good to each other. We can still help each other. We just have to pick our spots sometimes on where we, on where we can help. And with my next podcast on that subject or whatever, and on my next podcast on that subject or whatever, I had researched a lot on that, because that's near to me, because that's what I'm actually going through right now. So And with that being said, keep breathing, keep healing, and remember, you were never meant to do this alone. Y'all be good out there. Continue to love each other. Until next time.